Well, now that Super Bowl is over, it's time for what my brother-in-law calls the gay Super Bowl. It's Oscar month. Ooh. And of course, who better to tell us what's up, what's down, who's in and who's out, and predictions for who will win than Real Kev, Kevin Thomas. Welcome.
Thank you. It's always fun to be back with you, David.
You know, I just wish you were more energetic. That's the only thing about having you on the show.
I'll work on that for the next time.
You work. More energy. More energy.
I'll bring it. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it.
All right, so we're all about the movies today.
Okay.
And I understand that you spent Martin Luther King weekend catching up, and you have seen most every nominated film.
Usually I see them without having to catch up. I've just been so busy. But
yeah.
I've seen, and it doesn't matter if I've seen them or not, predictions aren't the Kevos, even though at home, in your own brain, you should have your own awards. So the Kevos are mine, like my favorite movie of the year. But the Oscar predictions are who I think is going to win.
Not who you think should win.
Right.
So the Kevos are who should win.
Right.
All right. So
and the Kevos may not even be nominated.
All right. So we're going to go through the films. We're going to talk about who should win the Oscars, who you think's going to win the Oscars, and then we want to talk about who the Kevos should be.
Okay.
Now, even though I love movies, actually, I don't usually see them till after the awards, so I'm ashamed to say, I'm going to have to give in my gay card. I've only seen one Oscar-nominated film so far.
Your gay card, there wasn't even a musical up.
I know. But I went to see The Martian because I love spaceships. So let's talk about the one that I know about.
Okay.
What are its chances? And I hear some people hate it as much as some people like me love it.
Well, I throw a little of my own opinion in on this one because I thought The Martian was good. I don't think it deserved 7 Oscar nominations. The funny thing was, all the predictors said it's going to win Best Director. The director didn't get nominated, Ridley Scott. So there's no way he could win. So even the experts that get together and think who's going to win can be wrong. That's what surprises are.
Right. Now, why do you think The Martian was such a big hit with the Academy?
Well, most movies that are big hits with the Academy are also mostly box office draws. So The Martian's made a lot of movie. It's got big power behind it. Mm-hmm. Ridley Scott, who does even TV, he's done every action movie. He's a big name. And it was a good movie, but is it Best Picture? No.
Right.
So you picked the wrong picture to see. It was a good one.
Yeah.
But that, you know, was
Yeah,
just,
but I'm a geek. I mean, I love things with spaceships.
Oh, you did the loser sign.
I did. Yeah, I'm a geek. But let's talk about what you think is going to be Best Picture and why. Let's go through the list.
Okay, well, The Revenant should be Best Picture, and I want it to be Best Picture. I hate Westerns more than anything, but it was so riveting, it was passionate, it was full of great acting, and tying in with that, Leonardo DiCaprio, I think it's his 6th nomination. I mean, come on, he fights with a bear, doesn't speak English, walks around in the freezing cold, a vegetarian, and he eats meat in the movie for real. That sounds like Oscar.
Yeah, but I mean, PETA is going to be all over this, right? I mean, are we going to have protests?
Well, people protest everything anyway, so let PETA protest. That will just help more attention to the movie, which doesn't need any more attention.
Right,
really.
So you want Revenant to win, but you don't think it is.
No, I think it will, and I want it.
So that's a Kev and an Oscar together.
Yeah.
You know,
but I mean, there's also tiny movies that will never see the light of day.
Well, like what? What are some of the others that you think might be in also ran?
Well, I love the movie Youth. It's only up for Best Song. I went to see it because of the brouhaha about Jane Fonda not getting nominated. But overall, Youth was a beautiful movie. It was great to look at. It was like watching a symphony. It was just flowed. I mean, it was choreographed. And that weird titled song, Simple Song Number 3, when I saw that on the list, I go, what the hell is that song? It's a great song.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like something like There Has to Be a Morning After in the Poseidon Adventure
No,
when I was a child that everyone knew.
Right, and actually everyone knew this year, See You Again, which also was surprisingly not nominated for Best Song. That's the one that kind of a tribute to Paul Walker. Everyone said that's going to win Best Song. It's not nominated.
Right. So what about some of the other movies that are nominated for Best Picture? What do you think of them?
Well, I thought mostly they were good ones. I mean, I really think an upset could be The Big Short. That was funny and true and well crafted. Spotlight gets a lot of, Spotlight's kind of in the spotlight for Best Picture.
Right. Now, I've been reading about The Big Short, have not seen it yet, but is there a political component to what the Academy does? I mean, because it's about the financial crisis and what's really up for us in this election year, does that influence the Academy and their vote?
Well, everything would influence the Academy and their vote. Even Elizabeth Taylor was Best Actress 1960 for an average movie because her husband just died and she never won an Oscar.
8, correct?
Yes. That was crap. I mean, it was fun to watch on a Sunday while eating popcorn and laughing.
But they felt guilty because Michael Todd had died and she had the thing cut in her throat during Cleopatra.
Right. So, I mean, everything comes into play. Geraldine Page, she was Best Actress 1985 for The Trip to Bountiful, good movie. Not the greatest performance, but that was her career award.
Right.
She'd never won an Oscar, many nominations. They finally gave her one instead of giving it to Whoopi Goldberg for The Color Purple or Meryl Streep for Out of Africa.
Right. Now, so we've talked about what you think is going to be Best Picture. Let's go to Best Director, and I'm saving my favorite for last because, again, to me, Best Movie, Best Director, I know that's the last thing, but to me it's about Best Actress. So I want to hold that for last.
Best Actress?
Yeah.
That's because you're gay.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is a gay show. Work with me
Okay,
here.
okay, I will. Okay.
So, Best Director.
That would be Alejandro González Iñárritu. I probably said it wrong. I apologize.
Yeah.
I did try earlier. And that would be great because it would be 2 years in a row that he won an Oscar. But he just won the Directors Guild of America Award. And if you usually, if you win that, then you also win Best Picture. And usually, Best Picture and Best Director are the same movie.
They usually go together. But there have been years when they've split. What are some of the notable years recently where there was one Best Picture and then the Best Picture didn't get Best Director?
Well, like Traffic, that won Best, I think, Director or Picture. And then it was Best Director, and then Gladiator was Best Picture. Driving Miss Daisy won Best Picture, no nomination for Best Director. So there could be splits, but that's why I added the word usually.
Right. So your pick for Best Director, is it the Kevo Award?
No, those would be the same again,
Those
too.
would be
The
the same.
Kevas are kind of boring here today. The Kevas are better with all the nominees for the movies that didn't make it, but I still think that was great direction.
Right. Now, what about animated films? I loved Frozen. I loved WALL-E. I love that stuff. Is there anything memorable this year for Best Animated?
I only saw Inside Out, and I'm not even a fan of that movie. Most people love that movie. Oh, I don't know if that dinosaur movie's nominated.
Yeah, How to Raise Your Dinosaur.
No,
or
The Good Dinosaur. I like The Good Dinosaur.
Which I always thought was a weird title because I never, except for the Tyrannosaurus Rex in, Jurassic Park, and even he became kind of an anti-hero. You were always happy when he ate someone nasty.
Right. But there's also, I didn't know we were going to talk about animated, but Anna Morelisa, I'm sorry, it's from Richard Linklater. That is getting great reviews, and it's an out-of-the-box thinking animated movie, so I hear that should be the winner, but of course, Inside Out will win that one.
All right, so before we get into Best Actor and Actress, we've got a little bit of time left. Let's talk about controversy and politics and the Oscars. There's been a lot made this year about how, quote-unquote, white the Oscars are. And here we are, two white guys talking about the Oscars.
Yeah, we don't have any room to talk about the black element of the Oscars. But go ahead.
But my question is, every year there seems to be something political coming up for the Oscars. Do you think this caught the Academy by surprise? I mean, do they have a point? The fact that it is really a bunch of old white guys deciding who gets these things.
No, I like that they've added more African American, or actually Latin too, members of the Academy since this year, and they've also expanded how many women are members. So I think partially it is racial. It's old white guys picking the Hollywood type of movies.
Because it's old white guys that own studios and
Right.
control the power. So the power structure hasn't shifted, correct?
Correct.
So what would it take?
Well, it would take maybe adding more younger people and more people of diverse backgrounds.
Right.
But
Go ahead.
I don't think they always, not every year there's a point. This year, I personally would have nominated Will Smith for Concussion, but that whole campaign started from his wife, so I don't think she's a good source, but I think he gives the second best performance by an actor of the year.
All right, well, so let's talk a little bit about Will Smith. I mean, I've heard that too in some of the Oscar buzz. Are people just kind of tired of Will Smith?
Well,
Is that part of it?
They could be. It's really a personality contest.
So does it come down to personality?
I think it does. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the performance, but it's a campaign. It's like running for president. There's just one every year, and there's 27 categories.
Right. So are we going to see on Oscar night a lot of empty seats? Are we going to see African-American actors boycotting the Oscars? Are we going to see them not coming to support this? Are we going to see them having their alternate Academy Awards night to support actors and actresses of color?
Well, that's called the Image Awards.
Yeah,
but,
well...
I don't think they're. I think some will boycott, just like some people that do independent films that didn't get nominated will boycott. The host is Chris Rock, and I think it's great that he's staying there because he can make a lot of white-only jokes.
Yeah.
The white people are in the front row, but. I don't think a boycott's going to change anything. The change has already happened. People threatening to boycott, and with people saying we need more diversity in the voting procedure.
Now, You know, the Super Bowl just happened last week, and as always, it is not only a spectacle, it's an opportunity for people to air their political issues and whatnot. And there were a lot of people who were talking about the Black Lives Matter campaign and popping up with protest. Do you think this is the year where we're going to see some pop-up protest? I mean, I remember when I was young, there was a streaker that ran across the stage behind Liz Taylor.
1974.
There you go.
And David Niven.
That's right, sorry.
But, I think the people protest. I mean, people protested when Barbra Streisand did get nominated for Best Director. There's always a little batch of protesters. It's the news that decides if they want to put their camera on them or just ignore them.
Right. We got 2 minutes left, so let's spend a minute talking about Best Actor nominations. Who's going to get the Oscar and who's going to get the Kevo?
Okay, well, see, this is the worst year for the Kevos. Leonardo DiCaprio gets both. I mean, he speaks 2 languages and he has a fight with a bear. And he crawls through the ice and eats meat.
Right.
But I mean, I wouldn't have minded if, like, Johnny Depp was nominated for Black Mass, and I wish Will Smith was up for Concussion. You know, but that's the thing, too, about is Will Smith not nominated because he's black, or were there maybe just 7 candidates? Maybe he's 1 vote short of making the top 5.
Right.
I don't know that.
So, my favorite nomination, Best Actress. Who are they, first of all? Who's to pick from? And then tell me who's going to win the Oscar and who's going to win the Kevo.
Oh, I had to think of, okay, so there's Brie Larson for Room. I think she will win, and no one saw that movie, no one heard of that movie. You obviously didn't, because you spent your money at the Marshall.
I did.
And I think she deserves to win, and she's fantastic in it, about a woman who was abducted and lives like 5 to 7 years in a room, and she has a child with her abductor.
This is based on a true story. It was all over the press a few years ago, right?
And also based upon a true story with fiction. There's Jennifer Lawrence in Joy. There's Cate Blanchett in
my favorite actress,
Carol, and I can't remember the other 2 right now.
So who do you think is going to get it? Do you think it's going to be The Room?
Yes.
And is this the Kevo as well, the Oscar and the Kevo? So
I do
no
wish,
drama this year between the Kevo and the Oscar.
No. But I do wish, happens a lot in the Academy, I wish that Rooney Mara is up for Best Actress for Carol. She's on screen just as much time as Cate Blanchett, which is probably, I can't remember the other 2 nominees, because it should be Rooney Mara. And Alicia Vikander from The Danish Girl, she's really also a Best Actress, but they pushed them both to Supporting Actress. So they're probably fighting it out for Supporting Actress, because they're really 2 lead actresses in the wrong category.
Right. In our closing moments, tell me what your advice would be to the producers of the Academy Awards. I mean, every year there seems to be this controversy about, oh, the host was terrible, or it's gone on too long. Is it still good TV? I'm not talking about the quality of the awards that are given to the movies. Is watching the Academy Awards worth 3-4 hours of my life?
I don't think 4. I think it's worth 3, because you also have that pre-party, but I think it's a great thing. As gay people in particular, and stereotyping us, the fashion is fun. I love when I'm wrong by a surprise. Like, I would be delighted, although I don't think he should win, if Tom Hardy was part of a suite for The Revenant. He is so hot, and he's really a great actor at the same time. He was in 5 movies last year, 2 of them up for Best Picture. So if there's a Revenant sweep, he could be the surprise instead of Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
So I like the surprises, the fun, and having that fun Oscar party. We all make different themed food.
Well, maybe we'll see you on Oscar night, because I don't have a date this year. My husband and I are just going to be watching in front of the TV, so maybe we'll come to your place.
You come to you have to bring a food saluting a Best Picture. And I have more information on the Oscars in more detail at liveleft.com.
Got it. liveleft.com. We've been here with Kevin Thomas, Real Kev, talking about the Oscars. Next up, our conversation with author Michael Hellquist, who has written an incredible book about a woman you've maybe never heard of, California's first official lesbian, Maria Kay. Thanks very much. We'll be right back.